Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Timberborn Update 6 Apocalypse Mode here with the Iron Teeth, Cycle 2, Day 1. I'm going to hit pause, and here's why. We got to talk about some stuff relating to the difficulty settings in this playthrough. A lot of you said I was completely insane for doing this, and I'm probably tempted to agree with you there. But we're going to have to make a decision. We're going to go through the rest of this episode, whether that means there's going to be an episode 3 or there's not going to be one. I don't know yet. We haven't gotten there. But I'm going to ask you right now, do you think it would be fine, and would you be okay with us editing the water and food consumption percentages? Currently, it's 200% of normal. Some of you have suggested take it back to 100%. Some of you have suggested a lower number, like 120% or something. But would you be okay with us changing that, editing the save file and continuing? Do you want to start over? I don't want to start over. I want to see if I can do this. But I don't know if it's going to be possible because of the insane settings. So let me know your thoughts. If you guys, the majority of you want to do it, we'll do it. If not, we're going to keep right on trucking until the end because that's how we do things here. But I wanted to discuss a couple of the things that we're going to try to do to make this completely bonkers setup work here. Got a bunch of good suggestions, and I think one of my favorite ones was the breeding pod insurance policy idea, where we build a bunch of breeding pods and get them basically all the way to the end and then hit pause. The reason you do that is because they're not going to require any more water or berries, and breeding pods are basically autonomous once they get past a certain point and they've been refilled, quote-unquote. So if we ever do have a wipe, we have all the adult beavers die, I can just hit unpause on the breeding pods and we'll have some kits born, and as long as there's something for them to eat and drink, or they can live long enough to be adults and then harvest stuff, then it's not over. I think that's kind of a cool idea, so I think we're going to want to try that, but it might be a little while before we can actually manage to do that. So, other stuff that we may be able to do, since it seems that the 200% food and water consumption is more of a how quickly do they get hungry and thirsty than how much do they eat in terms of how the mechanics seems to be playing out. Some people have proposed giving them a lunch break by, say for example, right now, trying this, lowering the working hours to where it is, when I hit unpause, past the time for them to quote-unquote quit working so they can go get a drink and go get something to eat, and then starting the workday again. Now that's going to be really tedious to keep doing over and over and over again, but I think we may have to end up doing that every once in a while because, as you can see, the average well-being when they get hungry or thirsty just takes an absolute nosedive. And in addition to that 50% debuff on working speed when a beaver is hungry or thirsty, and it gets there super, super quick. So we're going to see what happens, but for right now we're going to unpause. We need to get this large power wheel and this fermenter going because having better food that gives a better buff to well-being is going to be absolutely crucial to our beavers' survival here. We currently have 1, 2, 3 farmhouses working, harvesting and planting and all sorts of fun stuff. But this is stuff that's just going to kind of be real up in the air until we get to the point where we know for sure that something is or is not going to work. Other stuff we can do to help, for example, build a campfire so we can, have the beavers do some sort of relaxing stuff to get that well-being up. I just have to find a decent place to put one, which isn't really going to be that simple. But I'll go ahead and pop one right here. We also have this small industrial pile for logs. I'm going to super prioritize this because right now, they can't really do much of anything with the logs once they're cut except leave them in the lumberjack flags, and that's not really going to be a viable thing. So, I mean, the workday basically is over right now because I have it set to 12 hours. That's what I set it to after I was talking on the pause time about this. But they are very hungry, very thirsty, and very unable to get a whole lot of stuff done, which is not ideal. But if we can manage to slowly outpace the consumption of food with our harvesting, then we might stand a chance. There's just so much stuff that we've got to get done that's going to be a very, very, very difficult thing to accomplish because of how slow the working is. And it's it's going to be some rough times if we survive, but I really think this is a fun, just completely insane challenge, and that's why I'm doing it. And you guys seem to agree, or you seem to think that it's worth doing, besides a couple people who are like, seem to be legitimately upset that I would do this. Most of you are like, hey, this is crazy, stupid fun. Let's run it. Let's do it. And I think episode 1 was like the most viewed video I'd made in, what, since Update 6 came out? The first time in June. So, hey, that's great. I'm all about it. Let's make it happen. So these guys can take their rest, or they can just run around like idiots and get hungry and thirsty instead of sleeping when they cry about having to work more than 12 hours in a day. But I think we're going to be okay. As long as we don't try to have too many beavers too quickly. If we can kind of keep them under control in terms of how much they're eating or drinking and how much they complain about it, then we should be okay. And also keeping the distance they have to travel as small as possible. I think that's going to go a very long way into keeping these beavers alive. Average well-being of 5, not going to last super long, but again, anything we can do to help is going to help. The fermented cassavas are going to make a huge difference. But again, it needs 100 logs, and that is just not something we have a huge luxury of obtaining right now. But we do have this industrial pile ready to go to store logs should we need it. We just have to really have to get something going with this food storage. I mean, we have storage for kohlrabies here. They're just eating them faster than we can pull them out of the fields. Again, because just it's so quick. It's so fast to get everything hungry again here. Like right here, I mean, they're harvesting. And I'm not playing on triple speed because it's going to get super out of hand super quick. So if it frustrates you how slow this is going, sorry. That's just how it's going to be. Hope we can come to an understanding on that. But as this moves around in terms of what is and is not being worked on, we are going to have to relocate our, for example, lumberjack flags. Because this right now is way too far away from trees that are actually going to be cut, and it's going to just make for an inefficient workforce. So I'm going to let him cut that tree down that he's working on right there, and then bring it back, and then I'm going to move this because it's too far to walk. When they get hungry and thirsty after, what, 4 or 5 hours of work, it's like, nah, that ain't working. So let's make that the priority. I don't have enough beavers to be doing too much of this stuff. We just kind of have to just let it be how it's going to be. And I've got this gatherer flag here so we can take care of most of the berries. This one can reach berries. This one can reach the mangrove fruits. It doesn't seem like there's going to be many more of those to harvest right now, so I'm actually going to deprioritize this so we can have more beavers up in the district center getting stuff constructed. Because remember, we got to make the power wheel, and then we can have a fermenter. And once we have a fermenter, because the cassavas don't have to have the canola oil, then anything we send through there, it gets 10 fermented cassavas out of 4 raw ones. And that's going to be a whole lot better, going to give us a much bigger well-being boost, and just overall be a good choice for us to make. We also really need to get something going for science, because remember, we can't replant any trees until we have a forester. And then we also can't build a forester until we have a lumber mill, which is going to have to be constructed after we have food taken care of. Because it doesn't matter if we can make planks if the beavers are going to be starved to death. That's just how it goes. So yeah, now they're hungry, and they're going to be working at half speed for the rest of their workday. So I think maybe the most we can honestly get out of them now, without cheesing it with the lunch break, quote-unquote, is probably about 10 hours. Which is disappointing, because it's going to take so long. It's going to take so long to get this stuff done. To the point where I might actually have to have it on triple speed for us to actually get anything accomplished in an episode, or find out if there's actually going to be a 3rd episode. Who knows? Right now we got this breeding pod and this breeding pod, pretty much identical progress We are going to let them have these 2 beavers get born here, and then I might try that insurance policy thing on the next round, because, I mean, we can't really support more beavers than we currently have as far as food goes without doing some sort of massive re-optimization. But it's going to be a slow process, folks. Going to be a slow process. So it's after the end of the day, so we'll go ahead and do our triple speed here. But I'm really intrigued by the possibility of this even being remotely successful. A couple of you had a couple of comments to say about bots being important for this playthrough, and yes, that was the original goal. I didn't really talk about it, but if you can automate stuff with bots, even if you just have a few bots that can handle stuff like farming, then you're going to be much more able to keep your beavers alive. But it's a big ask to have bots in a playthrough like this, because there's so many resources that have to go into it. And as far as metal's concerned, like, alright, we could pretty easily get to metal over here. It's not going to be a problem. But it's the amount of resources that have to go into crafting stuff that's really going to be an issue. And don't forget, we can have a bad tide starting on cycle 4, and it's cycle 2. And then all of our crops are going to die. There's not going to be anywhere on the map that'll keep them safe unless we can get explosives, which, again, require bad water, which will be absolutely everywhere the first bad tide we have. But if we want it outside the bad tide, we've got to go way up here to get it. And this early in the game is just really not viable. But do note that we do have kohlrabies. We got 80 plus. Yeah, see, yeah, they're running out of steam after about 10 hours. We'll just call it for the day for them. But the large power wheel is very close, friends. Very close. And I think we're going to be in decent shape. I am going to set this guy back to planting. This one is set to harvesting only. And we haven't run out of food, but water is going to start being a problem here in a little bit as well. Because remember, I had these deprioritized so we could have the beavers focus on other stuff. And now it's turning into an interesting problem here. I do firmly believe once this power wheel and the fermenter is up and running, then we're going to be in a much better spot. You know, plus the campfire, but this is more important. Other stuff people have cited in the comments as ways to possibly survive what we've got going on here is put in a bunch of decorations. And yes, that's going to be a very important thing for us to do, but it requires science, which we can't make yet because we aren't making, well, because we aren't making science. Because we don't have any inventors. And we certainly don't have any number crunchers. Because I know someone's going to say, just build a number cruncher, dude. Well, look, if we even get there without having to restart. See, like, look at... they're so hungry. They're so thirsty. It's instantly a problem. All right, 96. They're not going to get there. They're not going to get there. Now we're going to have a problem. All right, so this I'm going to pause because this stuff is still growing. Well, the cassavas can be harvested, but we can't even do anything with them yet. We got to get these guys in here pumping. Got to get them in here pumping. And we'll make it happen here. It's just so precarious, these first couple cycles. Like, I knew this was going to be hard. I don't think I knew this was going to be this hard. But now it's crunch time. It's crunch time with our water here. But I think as long as we can keep this number going up for a little while, we're going to be okay. All right, so large power wheel's ready to go. I'm going to have it go down to 1 worker because it's going to be fine just like that. All right, food is still looking okay. It's over 100, which, you know, something. And the water is going up a little bit. I think we do have an extra adult. We do. We have a couple from day 4, and these have already made 2 more beavers. So we're probably looking okay. I remember when I said I wasn't going to do triple speed, and then nothing was happening. So I was like, all right, well, we'll just do it. We'll see what happens. It is a little bit of a nothing burger when there's not so much for us to go pan around and take a look at. But be assured, stuff is happening. The beavers are just really, really, really slow. Really slow at getting stuff done. So one more log goes in here to get this fermenter running, and we are going to be in business. This is now a super, super important job. So now, yes, ferment. Ferment immediately. Oh, yes. No, no, you can't end now. Stop it. Go back to work. Oh, you stupid idiots. You're so close. 72. Oh, come on, man. You're absolutely killing me. All right, go. 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 Make it happen. Make it happen. I just need those 10. All right, cool. So you had your lunch break. All right, now you're done. So I guess this is our life now. Like, I guess this is what we're doing. We're just gaming the system here. Try to make some sort of desperate attempt at survival. All right. Ferment your cassavas. I got to turn this one back on, and we don't have enough beavers to do it, so... Alright, that's going to be a deprioritization here. Andy can go work the farm, pick some cassavas for us, because now, look, there it goes. There it goes. We've got a bunch of hungry beavers. But the cassavas give us a +2, and everybody's got them. So that's a big help. Alright, so you're hungry, you're thirsty. Alright, go back to work. Go back to work for the evening shift. Let's go. Yeah, this is, it's working, but for how long is the question. Gonna be interesting. We're dying of old age instead of hunger, which is an improvement over the last episode for sure. But for how long is the question. Campfire is also going to help massively as well. Yep, see, there we go. Up to 7. Much better baseline than a 0 or a 3 where we were before. Mangrove fruits, unfortunately, are going to have to be dependent on how much they grow. And that first bad tide we get is really, really going to be hard. Really going to be hard. We're going to have 2 more baby beavers here in a little bit. I think this might be before dawn on day 9. But, you know, we're actually kind of getting somewhere. We're kind of getting somewhere. Except for, you know, not having a whole lot of logs, but that's kind of not something we can really help. Food is slowly climbing. That's the most important thing, because as soon as these crops die and have to be replanted, we're going to have a terrible time. Absolutely terrible time. Oh, and then I forgot to do the, I forgot to do the evening shift. See, this is why this isn't sustainable. That's why it's not sustainable, but that's the way it's going to go, I suppose. All right. We are going to absolutely have to put an inventor in. I'm going to put that guy over here just because that's a place where it will fit. Because we got to get some science going. Got to get science. Or else we're going to have a terrible time. All right. So all right, we got an 11-day drought here. In cycle 2. You chose this. Yes, I did. Thank you. Look, we know it's going to be hard. We're just going to give it a shot. If we fail, we'll start over. It's not that big of a deal. It's a game. I wanted deliberately to push the envelope to a completely obnoxious degree, just to see if it was possible. And I think it's possible. We just might have to, you know, tinker with stuff a little bit. The 200%, I'm pretty sure now is going to have to change. But the super long drought settings and everything, I think is very, very workable. We just have to be smart about it. All right, so that's the end of the day. Go back down to 8. And there we go. You know, 11 days, I'm not optimistic about this drought. I really am not. Because we're going to end up pumping all of this water out. That's just the reality of it. Because even if we weren't pumping it, like 10 days, is almost enough time for just the natural evaporation to take its course. And yes, we do have a lot of water back here, which is looking fine, but it's not going to last forever. It really isn't. Really is not. All right, so midday break, get your hunger, get your thirst fixed, and then go back to work. Food-wise, I mean, it definitely could be a whole lot worse. It really could. And the water situation is kind of encouraging, but we just don't have enough bodies to keep up with the demand for the stuff, I think, is the problem. We're spending so much time and effort on these beavers just having something to eat and drink that we can't really expand without having additional beavers born. Which, these guys just keep on coming in. Like, we've already had somebody die of old age. Well, we've had a couple people die of old age in the past couple of days. Let's see, we had 1, 2, 3, 4... Yeah, 4 die of old age this episode alone. We've only been recording for about 20 minutes. So you can very, very quickly see how this becomes an issue. But if the land is going to dry out and the crops are going to die, I want the water to be pumped. That's the most important thing. We don't stand a chance unless we have water in tanks. And people have been talking about, oh, you need to rush medium tanks. Like, buddy, I don't know that we're going to get there. I really don't. But just having the storage space available so that they can basically always be pumping is going to be the most important thing to ensure the beavers can actually survive. Because at this level of well-being, our maintenance might actually be more than 2 breeding pods. We're just gonna have to be on it. And we've got the lumberjacks aren't even working. Okay, well that would explain why. That would explain why we haven't cut anything down, because I've got the one here. So I can't have them not pumping is the problem. I just can't do it. Let's go down to 1 beaver here in this farmhouse. Still nobody, really? Really? Not 1? Okay, well, you got nothing going on, so we're going to pause you. Well, it doesn't matter because it's into the working hours anyway until the lunch break's over. Until we have actual cassavas ready to be fermented. We don't need anybody in here. We don't need anybody in here. So, get to pumping. Let's make it happen, folks. We have to do something this episode besides just keep a maintenance level of food and water. Although, the food is going up. It's going up a lot. It's just, you know, not going up as fast as I think we want it to. Hopefully that campfire is going to help, even though it's only a +1. It'll help the kids grow up a lot quicker too, which is important. So I'm going to go ahead and put in 2 more breeding pods, just so we have those, which they're probably going to finish this inventor first. And there's actually still a small tank that we were building that we haven't finished yet. 7 days left in the drought, so I think the kohlrabies will last 3 or 4 days in a drought with no water, but you know, man, I just I'm not sure. Not sure. All right, well-being of 8. So, you know, it's definitely slow progress, but we're making our way up the ladder. We're doing it. We're doing it. All right, so that's quitting time there. I am just so curious if we can pull this off. Like 200 something is going to be enough, I think, for the rest of the drought. But if stuff continues to dry out, then it's going to be a while before we get this fresh water coming back out of here once the drought's over. So again, that's why I haven't stopped yet. That's why we have to keep going, because we need to get it absolutely as much as possible out of this first. All right, I'm going to pause this farmhouse. Let's get somebody in the inventor. Just so we have a fighting chance. We gotta get some science. Gotta get some science. And I know it's going to be a very slow process. We're about to pump the last of the water out of here. I can tell. I can tell by looking at this. It is very, very low. Yeah, okay, so either overnight or very early on day 15, we're going to be completely out of water in here. And that's gonna cause us to have to make some choices here. But once that does happen, once we're out of water, we can pause the pumps entirely. And we can try very, very hard to get all of this food pulled out of the ground before it completely dries out. But look at this. Look at this. You say we haven't done anything? Look, our food is at 150. Highest it's ever been. Water is almost at full capacity. It's getting there. 300 for sure will get us through to the start of cycle 3. Then we're going to have some choices to make. But I told you guys I was going to be committed to this. We're going to make this work, folks. I will turn this farm back on as soon as that runs out here. All right, we're at a whole 13. We're at a whole 13 science. After all that, a whole 13 science. And the water actually lasted a day longer than I thought it would, but it's almost certainly going to be gone this next day. We'll see what happens. And no, we're still... There it is. The water's completely gone. Okay, we're going to pause the pumps. And immediately, harvest mode only. Okay, so kohlrabi's going to die in 1.9 days. Really, the cassava fully grown lasts 3. Okay. Well, if that's going to be the case, then we definitely want to prioritize our kohlrabi's here. Not that there's anything besides kohlrabi's being grown anywhere near these two farmhouses, but just so we're abundantly clear, we absolutely must harvest all of these. And we do have, yeah, we got 227 water. We've got 14 cassavas that we can actually start working with. That's 3 batches of 10 fermented cassavas worth. And I've got 3, actually, yeah, I do have 3 beavers that I can put to work. Science, not the most important thing we can be doing here. So that is going to get deprioritized. I'm going to unpause this. So that's going to give us 1 extra, which I suppose... Are we actually building anything right now? No, but this farmhouse has been paused, so that is going to be... There we go. That's going to be a thing. So that's going to pull... Who's that pulling away from? I actually don't... Oh, well, somebody's still working here? How? Okay, the berries... I mean, we've got 62 berries, so I can probably deprioritize gather a flag. That's deprioritized. Okay, that's fine. The mangrove trees... Hopefully... Past 5.5 days. Well, we have 4 days until the water starts coming back. Can it get here in a day and a half after that? I don't know. We're going to find out. Gotta find out. We are going to do our best. That is the only thing you can do in a scenario like this. But look, we're almost at 200 food. And there's 200. Yeah. It's not completely hopeless, folks. Not completely hopeless. Just a little bit insane. By just a little bit insane, I mean decidedly completely insane. Alright, now they don't have enough cassavas to do that, so we're going to pause. Pause. That's the 16 hours there. And that's all she wrote on that. Back to 8. Now, I'm going to single speed overnight here so we can think a little bit more about strategy. 1.2 days. 2.1 days. So all of these are going to be completely bone dry by the time the water comes back. We just have to make sure we're harvesting stuff. These kohlrabi's are not going to make it. That is just the way it goes. Okay, some of the mangroves might actually survive. And I don't have the science to research a fluid dump even. Well, that's 250, which is more than most of the stuff is. So I guess it's fine. But it's going to be very important that we harvest the rest of these kohlrabis tomorrow. Absolutely paramount that that happens. And I think... Okay, so these guys can't really even reach it at all, so I'm going to unprioritize. This one can get... What is this? Like 10 or 11 of these. They can get that. These guys, I'm going to start getting the cassavas in. In fact, I might as well just go ahead and prioritize cassava with them. We've got... That's looking good. That's... Oh, these are all about the same time. I should have staggered them. But, most importantly, they've got their berries and they've got their water. So, if they start dropping like flies due to hunger or thirst problems, then we do have a backup plan. The question is going to then become, how do we feed them if everybody else is dead? But we'll see what happens. We do need to build another barracks, but to be perfectly honest with you, that is not on my priority list currently. We just have so much other stuff that's got to get taken care of. All right. Actually, I'm going to pause. Let's take a second to think. We don't need to rush through stuff. I don't want it to be boring because of how little is happening, so I'm trying to balance this. I have another beaver to assign to the district center, so that we got 2. We can start building something else. I have a full storage of logs, so we probably should start building something else. I don't think the barracks is the right answer for that, but we do have the power wheel, which means we have the ability to start doing stuff like a lumber mill. That's probably a very smart thing for us to start building. I just have to figure out how I'm going to make this work here. It's probably fine to just put this in like so. Yeah, we'll just do that because we want to have planks. Because planks are going to allow us to make all sorts of other stuff, but just as a reminder, we can't plant anything with a forester, even though it does take planks. We can't make a forester until we have 60 science, and we have 25 because, you know, it's been a time. So, yeah, let's have these 2 guys build ourselves a lumber mill here, and you know, just do what we can do. If we can get all of these kohlrabis and cassava harvested before they dry out, we're going to be in good shape. I'm not super... Oh, wow, this is quick. That was quick to have this ready to go. Tell you what. I have enough cassava to have this, but we can run this after everything else is harvested. I just need to absolutely make sure that we have all 6 of our farmer beavers working on this problem here. So that is going to dry out in 2 days. This is going to dry out in 0.8 days. So, yeah, not even sunrise. Or it could be, like, just a tiny bit after, I guess, the start of the beaver workday. This farmhouse has 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're doing pretty well. This farmhouse, I don't know that they're going to make it with this. Because we've got... Oh, yeah, we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Got 12 of these things, and it does take time to harvest those. Cassavas, again, we have another day to play with, but I think that's probably fine. I'm going to pause this so our builders can keep building other stuff, but we can take our time to think about this. We don't have to have it running at full speed all the time. I just want to make sure that we're not having too much, quote-unquote, dead air while stuff is happening, and we don't have to make decisions on the fly. We can just let them do what they're doing. But I really want to try to get some metal. But I can't make stairs until I have science. I can't make platforms until I have science. Yes, I am aware that I could build small warehouses or small piles to cheese the crossing across the river, but I think that's a really cheap way of doing it, so I don't want to do that. I'd like to avoid that if at all possible. We do have this slope here that goes up. We've got a birch tree in the way, and we probably should start getting some stuff harvested over here. But this guy is squarely in the way, and I don't know that that's going to be a viable thing for us to be worrying about. So I probably should just have it destroyed and mark this whole area for cutting, because, you know, it's really not going to matter if the beavers don't survive anyway, but I think it's probably going to be okay. Let's go ahead and put this in just in case. We'll let them build all that fun stuff. So that's already ready to go. All right, pause again. Get this connected. So now we can actually have a lumberjack take care of cutting these trees down because, you know, there's not a whole lot more going on over here. And we're going to need to, well, I say start. Keep reclaiming this area to build other stuff. Right now, this is basically all we can do. Short of building another fermenter, which, honestly, we don't need to. If I had the science again, we could do some of this stuff, but I'm pretty sure the only thing I can unlock right now is a shrub, which... huge waste of resources for us to be doing that. Of course, monuments are completely out of the question. The frog statue, unfortunately, requires treated planks, which I have no clue if we're ever going to be able to make those. But, yeah. We also want to make sure that no beavers are getting injured or the broken teeth or whatever. We do have the ability to build the teeth grindstone. And I guess I probably should go ahead and build one of these. Probably would be smart. I have the injury chance set to 200% for those of you who were curious. There is a little bit of nonsense that I added that I didn't really talk too much about. But, I mean, it's this like a decision time do or die. This farmhouse, good job. They did what they had to do, so we can go ahead... Nothing else is going to get grown here. We can go ahead and pause this. These guys have harvested just about all they can harvest. 1.2 days, that's fine. I mean, if we lose like 3 or 4 things of kohlrabi, I'm not going to be super upset. We have 140 of them. That's totally fine. Totally fine. We have the water that we're going to need. I am pretty sure... Yeah, you know what? I'll take that. I'll take losing just 1. That is perfectly fine. Okay, this is going to be paused. That's going to be unpaused. That's going to be unpaused. And that's going to let them start fermenting the cassavas when the sun comes up. And then this is going to be no prioritization whatsoever. So then get those cassava, because that's already died out. There's only like 4 of these to get anyway. So, there you go. No more of that. So now we have a whole bunch of dead kohlrabi seedlings. All the farmers are off work. I guess I could have a couple of them do some industrial lumber milling. Which, now it's going to be time for us to go up to the midday break here. This is, yeah, 78 out of 125. I got an extra beaver. So, there you go. Go walk on the wheel of suffering. Make some science for us. I probably should have built some more of those, but you know how it goes. Just the way things are. And now the water situation is becoming becoming a problem. So, oh, hey. All right. Pause. Pause. Okay, that one just restarted. This one is very close. So, friends, 34 water, 1.2 days until the end of the drought. We will run out of water on day 19. Like, we will be out of water. It is entirely possible a lot of our beavers will die before this area gets splashed down here. And if that happens, it's not game over, but it's going to be real close. Going to be real close, I'll tell you what. So... Let's see what's going on here. That's kohlrabi that died due to drying out. Okay, yep, understand that. Yeah, it's it's not looking good, folks. Not looking good. But what did I say in the first episode? We're doing this thing, and I'm not editing it. I'm not going to lie and say, "Oh, look, I got better at that." No, 100%. Honest transparency, even through madness. That's my motto here. So, we got 20 water left. Got 20 water left. But hey, we almost have enough science. Almost. We almost do. All right. Let's hit pause. I have enough planks to build a forester. I think I can store 13. Yeah, I can store 13 of those. So as soon as I get 60 science, I am going to research the forester, and we are going to plant trees. But oh, it's gonna be something, folks. It's gonna be something. Let's see if we survive. We'll see if we can do it. We are now out of water, and you know they're gonna start getting thirsty here in a little bit. You know, I'm not even gonna make them go back to work today because there's no water. We'll just let it be what it's gonna be. Oh, they're already thirsty. They're already thirsty. Already thirsty. So that's really gonna complicate stuff here. Okay. So this can be paused. Actually, no, the fermenter could be paused. Everything else is probably fine. So, our well-being is currently 4. We have a minus 1.6 because 4 of the beavers are thirsty. Okay, all right. All right, we're gonna be starting cycle 3. Now, this probably is where I should end this episode, but I don't want to. I don't want to end it here. All right, cycle 3, day 1. At least take this out at triple speed. The mangroves have another day and a half. Some of them more, but most of them have about a day and a half. The berries are fine for right now. The trees are getting chopped down. We're at a minus 4 well-being. All of the beavers are thirsty. Every single beaver is thirsty, but it's not to the death bit yet. Not quite. Although I imagine some of them are. Oh, look at this little guy. Oh, shelter is minus 3, but he lives in the. Go take a nap, my dude. Let's go. Wait, did that say 0% of the way grown up? Hold on. Where? All right. Oh, growth speed. Because the well-being is so low, the growth speed is 0. Okay, I was about to say, like, no, you cannot revert. You cannot revert to a younger beaver age because you are hungry. That's not how this works. Well, all we can do now is wait for the water to come back, which... Oh no, it's not even to the spillway yet. All right, well, you know, there's nothing else we can do. We just have to wait. Just gotta wait. Because this water is still not out. Oh no. Oh no. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed these 2 episodes. Because I don't think there's gonna be a third without a restart. Yeah, this meter is just falling so fast. It's falling so quickly. Do we have water? All right, we technically have water. It's going to be like noon on day 2 before we get there. I mean, I think we might actually be fine. We do still have some berries to eat. We've got some. We got no water. There it comes. There we go. All right, so the mangroves actually did make it. So that's great news. Unfortunately, everything else. Okay. Oh, get that planting underway immediately. I really should have done a little bit of a better job on this. But hey, you know, we didn't have any beavers die. Yet. All right, are we gonna make it? Are we gonna make it past the end of day 2? Because if we do, then folks, we might actually stand a chance. We might actually be able to do this. But not gonna lie, the 10 berries is not not very encouraging. All right, so this is where this gets interesting, because now, I mean, the thirst problem should, in theory, pretty much be solved once they go to work in the morning. Still don't have anything in the pantry, of course not, because there's no... Oh, now there's not even berries. All right, okay, that's important. This is now a super important job. go to work, pick your berries so our beavers don't die. But yeah, at this point, I'm just going to leave this running at triple speed while we try to do our end of episode stuff. I really appreciate you guys humoring me with this. Like, obviously, it's a very, 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 very hard thing to try and attempt cold without doing too much research on it. But I wanted to try and see if it would work. And I think the drought length and the bad tides are not going to be the problem so much as that 200% thirst and hunger stuff. So, again, let me know what your thoughts are about that. Because I think it's doable. But not with that. So, if you want me to restart, and you'll forgive me for that, then we can do that for next episode and give it an honest try without, here we are dying of thirst. All right, it might actually be over anyway. But do let me know that. So, yep, we're dropping like flies. Dropping like flies, dying of thirst now. But I appreciate you being here, bearing with me. Beard Boosters, of course, enabling directly the idiocy of this playthrough attempt. So, you know, you see the names on the screen. These people are the ones who are subsidizing my insanities. Thank you very much for that. And I hope that when we get around to trying this again in the next video, we'll be able to have a more clean and clear chance. The 200% is what did us in, not the drought length. The drought length was actually fine, but just the beavers being unable to actually work is what ultimately caused the demise of this. So hopefully you can understand the position that we've placed ourselves in and appreciate my my honesty, transparency for not just restarting this and not telling you guys about it. I'm not going to do that to you. I'm a ride or die as far as honesty is concerned. We're just in here suffering with these beavers, man. So yeah, we're going to have to restart at this point now, but we're not going to change the 100 days. We're going to change the we're going to why am I laughing at this? We're going to change the consumption back to normal, or at least try like 120 or 125%. But yeah, that's unfortunately all she wrote for this playthrough. Folks, we got 3 beavers. We got no food. We got no water. It's over for these guys, but it's not over for us. We're gonna start again. I hope I can still call it episode 3. But yeah, appreciate you very much. Stay safe, have fun, and we'll catch you on the reload. Take care, friends. Bye bye.